Really know how to make a guy feel welcome. 97.1.
You're going into the morning show anyway.
Can we talk about something from the morning show today?
Yeah.
You heard this live.
Yeah.
Look at you.
No. Well, he did it yesterday as we were sitting out there in the bullpen with him and Dan Miller. I guess the final Lions report thing that we run.
Mm-hmm.
And Wojo said something. And I thought it was just Wojo being Wojo. You don't really mean
Messing
that.
with you out in the bullpen. Yep.
You know what? I'm not playing this game with you. It's like Rieger does this all the time. And I'm like, I'm not doing this.
Rieger, stir things up? Never.
Right. But he doubled back. And
he tripled.
Well,
down.
then he tripled back and put something on social media. So Wojo believes, well, you know what? I'll let Wojo tell you in his own words what he believes Lions fans and how they should react. Here's Wojo. Wojo thinks that this game, Sunday, will not haunt you. Now, Kenny, am I allowed to speak upon this?
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, because, I was the enemy for a week. But if you're a sports fan, there are certain games that you take to your grave with you. There's certain things that you just won't forget. And I think the reality was going to kick in with Lions fans in about 11 days. At the end of the Super Bowl, the winner of this year's Super Bowl will either be the team you've already beaten this year,
or the team you should have beat,
or the team you were smoking at halftime and that you should have beaten. And then that's when you look and say, that could have been us. That should have been us. Yeah, so, yes, I don't think that this is one where you shrug off, because even if you win the Super Bowl next year, you know what you're going to be telling yourself? You know what Kenny will say to himself? We should have went back-to-back. If we would have just beat the Niners, we would have been back-to-back champions. If you win the next two, we should have been three-time champions. No matter what you do, you're going to always look back and say, but we should have won this one.
It will always be a missed opportunity. Always. You're up 3 scores at the half. Teams don't blow leads like that. That is only a handful of times in the history of the sport. It will always be a missed opportunity. I don't know what planet Wojo's on that he thought Lions fans woke up Monday morning and were like, well, golly gee, still a fun season. That is haunting. That will always be a missed opportunity. To your point, Rico, the Pistons, the phantom foul Kareem, they would go on to win 2 titles, and people still cite the Kareem phantom foul. I mean, less so because it's been years.
Hold on.
But the hurt still remains. Or how about more modern?
I was about to say, we don't even have to go that far back. Every Pistons fan thinks they should have won back-to-back titles. Rashid, why in the blank are you leaving Robert Horry wide open?
The Pistons fans had already seen a championship. It didn't soften the blow of that game in that moment. How do you leave Big Shot Bob? His nickname is Big Shot Bob. Why is he open in the corner?
Kenny, your wings already won a cup.
Chance to go back-to-back.
Did you see what he just did when I brought it up? He throws his hands up in the air like, why are you picking on me?
And right now, it's just one of the minor scars on my fandom of the Red Wings, but I still look back on it the same way I'm still going to look back on this Lions loss. Right now, it's a fresh wound for all of us, but in 10, 15, 20, hell, 30 years from now, I'm still going to look back and go, damn, 2024. It could have been.
Well, it's how they lost. And it's because of how they lost, too. If they were down 10 and they fought valiantly late and fell just short, you'd be bummed to blow a 17-point lead in one half, 30 minutes of football. You will always cite this. Plus, we don't have any previous success to fall back on as Lions fans.
Yeah.
So, I mean, listen.
At least the Pistons had a title. The Wings had a cup.
Correct. And it still hurts. So the idea that Wojo thinks, I don't know, it'll come up tomorrow and they'll win the Super Bowl next year. I sure hope so. But even if they do, it doesn't change that this was a missed opportunity.
It was.
There's also a chance it turns into Torrey Hunter falling over the fence in Fenway. Right? I mean, the Tigers had been to the World Series in 2012, shot in the ALCS against the Boston Red Sox. People look back at that moment and say, that was our best shot. Dan Campbell said, well, I don't believe it. Might have been our best shot. The idea that Wojo believes people wake up on Monday morning. Or even let's talk to you today on a Wednesday, and you're just like, I'm over it. I'll never be over it. Can you soften the blow? Ben Johnson comes back? Can you win a Super Bowl or two and not have it hurt as much? Sure, but it will always haunt you. I think it might be the single most haunting Detroit sports moment ever.
It's up there. I think
It's certainly
up
in the
there.
top 5. I think we've covered all 5.
I think it's up there because it's the final piece to the puzzle. It's the Super Bowl. It's what no one in this town has ever experienced. 248-539-9797.
What planet is Wojo on?
Was Wojo right? Lions fans? Are you just looking towards the future and you shrug this game off and say, well, things happen, we lost, but we got a bright future ahead of us?
That's just sports.
Or is this something that is going to bother you probably till you die? That it's going to be one of those things that when people bring up this Niner game, I don't care what day you're having, how great it is, you're going to instantly go back to the moment when you realize we just gave away a 17-point lead.
And think about this, Rico. Unintentionally, we've taken phone calls the last 2 days. People still complaining about the Campbell gambles. Those will be debated.
Yes.
Forever.
Yes.
Forever.
So 248-539-9797. Was Wojo right? If you're a Lions fan, have you moved on? Future's bright.
Sun will come out tomorrow.
Ben Johnson's going to be back.
Bet your bottom dollar
We'll win tons of titles.
Tomorrow.
Because I got to think, if you're a sports fan, I mean, there are certain games that years, decades later, still bothers me. Still gets angry about it. Yeah. Whether it's your professional team, whether it's your college team. I still get angry at John L. Smith for blowing the Braylon Edwards game. Like, how in the world do you have Michigan down and you just don't cover Braylon? First and goal from the 1.
Yeah.
And let's put the tiniest running back we have in there and see what we can do.
And your Spartans have gone on to beat Michigan and win Big Ten titles and go to a college football playoff. It still bothers you.
Right.
There's future success is exciting. That's still a missed opportunity.
And I'm sure if you're a Michigan fan, you're probably thinking, why in the F couldn't we just punt the ball and just kick it down the field and not have to deal with the trouble with the snap?
Yep. Even though
Even
though you've gone on to win a national title.
You won a national
moment
title.
Still has to hurt.
That moment does. You can say, well, we won a national title. But that moment should have never happened.
Exactly. It's 97-1.